Welcome to the video. Today we're unlocking the secrets of dopamine and how it impacts ADHD. If you've ever wondered why people with ADHD struggle with motivation or focus, or why they seem to get bored so easily, the answer might lie in this powerful brain chemical, dopamine. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the science and showing you why this little molecule is such a game changer for ADHD. And trust me, you'll be surprised by what you learn. Alright, let's start with the basics. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical, but it's so much more than that. It's a neurotransmitter, basically a chemical messenger, that plays a huge role in regulating motivation, reward, and pleasure. Every time we experience something rewarding, whether it's eating our favorite food or crossing something off our to-do list, our brain releases dopamine. This makes us feel good, and that feeling drives us to do more of what brings us that pleasure. It's like our brain's built-in reward system. When dopamine is released, it triggers a surge of energy, focus, and motivation. It's that yes, I'm going to crush this feeling we all get when we're motivated to accomplish something. Without dopamine, we'd struggle to stay motivated and engaged with tasks. So, this chemical is essential for everything from getting things done to feeling connected with the world around us. Now, here's where things get interesting. In individuals with ADHD, the brain's dopamine system doesn't work the same way. For some reason, their brains tend to release less dopamine, or the dopamine they release doesn't function as efficiently. This is one of the key reasons people with ADHD struggle with focus, motivation, and even impulse control. So what does that mean for someone with ADHD? Well, think about it like this. For most of us, the brain releases dopamine when we start a task or complete something important. It gives us that sense of reward, and we feel motivated to keep going. But for someone with ADHD, that same reward isn't there, or it's much weaker. The brain just doesn't get the dopamine rush that would normally motivate them to stay focused. Imagine trying to focus on a task that doesn't seem rewarding. Maybe you're reading a textbook or doing a tedious chore. Now, if you don't feel that dopamine kick to push you through, it's easy to lose interest, right? That's what it's like for someone with ADHD. Their brain isn't rewarding them with dopamine for simple tasks, so staying focused can feel like pushing a boulder uphill. Instead of sticking with the boring task, the brain of someone with ADHD is constantly looking for something that gives a bigger dopamine hit. That's why people with ADHD often jump from one activity to the next. It's not laziness, it's the brain craving that dopamine boost. And here's the kicker, the more often the brain doesn't get that dopamine hit, the harder it becomes to keep trying. So why do people with ADHD often seek out high-stimulation activities like video games, extreme sports, or even things that might seem risky? It's because these activities give a huge burst of dopamine. Video games, for example, are designed to be fast-paced and rewarding. You get constant feedback, achievements, and rewards, all of which trigger a dopamine release in the brain. And for someone with ADHD, this constant feedback loop feels incredibly satisfying. These types of activities might feel like a dopamine jackpot, and that's why people with ADHD can get so absorbed in them. They offer the kind of instant reward the brain craves. But here's the catch, while these activities can help with motivation, they can also make it harder to focus on tasks that don't offer the same immediate gratification. This is why someone with ADHD might struggle to sit through a meeting or do their homework, but they can play a game for hours without losing focus. Now, let's talk about impulsivity. Impulsivity is another key trait of ADHD, and guess what? It's directly linked to dopamine. When people with ADHD don't get the dopamine they need from their environment, they might seek out immediate rewards in other ways. This could mean making snap decisions, spending money impulsively, or acting without thinking things through. Essentially, impulsivity becomes a way for the brain to get a quick dopamine rush. It's like the brain says, I need dopamine now, and takes action, even if that action isn't always the most thought out. That's why people with ADHD can sometimes seem impulsive or act on sudden urges. It's not a lack of control, it's the brain craving that dopamine boost. Now, here's the good news. There are ways to help balance dopamine levels in the brain and manage ADHD symptoms. First up, medication. Medications like stimulants, think Adderall or Ritalin, help increase dopamine levels in the brain. This doesn't cure ADHD, but it helps people with ADHD feel more focused, motivated, and engaged. These medications essentially help top off the dopamine levels, making it easier to stay on task and feel rewarded by everyday activities. Another great way to boost dopamine naturally? Exercise. Physical activity is a fantastic way to release dopamine, not just for people with ADHD, but for everyone. Regular exercise helps the brain release dopamine, and this can improve mood, motivation, and focus. Even just a daily walk or a short workout can make a big difference in how someone with ADHD feels. A structured routine is another powerful tool. People with ADHD thrive when they have clear, organized schedules. This helps reduce distractions and gives their brain a roadmap to follow, making it easier to stay focused. And let's not forget about sleep. Poor sleep can drastically lower dopamine levels, so making sure you get enough rest is crucial for optimal brain function. So there you have it, dopamine plays a massive role in ADHD, affecting everything from focus and motivation to impulsivity. The key takeaway? People with ADHD may have a dopamine system that's underactive or inefficient, which makes staying focused and motivated more challenging. But with the right strategies, like medication, exercise, structure, and sleep, it's possible to help balance dopamine levels and improve focus and motivation. Did this video help you understand how dopamine works in ADHD? Make sure to hit that like button if you found this information helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into ADHD and how the brain works. We've got a ton of great content coming up, and we'd love for you to be part of the journey. Drop a comment below and let us know what you'd like us to explain next. See you in the next video.